Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Art and Ale in conversation with Chintan Upadhyay. I'd like to first introduce the concept. Is this clear? Again, this is a series of talks which we've started at TADAX to basically work as reference material for artists and people from the art community to absolutely use it and learn from the experiences of other artists and other vendors, if you might call it, of this industry. We've actually, at TADAX, we believe that all of us need to take this industry as an industry and kind of professionally look at every aspect of it and learn from the experiences of other members of the same industry. And those members could be artists, agents, galleries, curators, critiques, and media. And what we need to do is get together, have conversations about it, and take it beyond just the gallery and make the experience a little more casual, yet more learning. And that's where we started the series. This is the second of the series after the first one, which was with Jagannath Panda. We particularly wanted to invite Chintan for this conversation, trying to see his experience from both the towns, where he shifted from Bombay to Delhi, and his experience of learning from Baroda again. So, with the exposure of, if I might use that word, pan-India, he has actually been able to get various inputs and experiences from each of these art destinations, and that's something which each artist who's trying to get into this industry or anybody who's already into an industry and thinks of Chintan as or takes Chintan as an inspiration can learn from. So to begin with the evening, we'd like to first thank the Pine Room for the venue and for their support. We feel that as their concept of this place speaks about, it's a place where conversations start different conversations. And on top of that, it is a very casual atmosphere where each of us is put to ease with the ale we have, and alongside that, even the way the place is designed. It's actually the first beer cafe I've been to. I don't even understand the concept of it, but I think it's wonderful to see it like this today. Where it's so casual, so friendly. At the same time, conversations take over the entire evening as such. And I'd like to thank you all for being here. And I don't know how much of it will help you, or how much but I genuinely, from the heart, thank you for supporting this concept for us. I'd like to begin by asking Chintan a simple question about which I always tend to ask most of the artists. For you, art is something which you always knew you wanted to get into, or was it more like a informed decision once you passed school and college?
Welcome everybody. First of all, I want to tell you that my father is an artist. He has been practicing since long time. Since the time I grew up, I've seen him painting, and he was part of abstract movement and all. And I never wanted to be an artist because I've seen all these artists from Souza to, I always found them weird people. coming home and sort of see them, their weirdness, their eccentricity and all. I never sort of thought, hey, that is something I want to do. And I don't know, I don't call it destination, but I think there are certain scientific reasons where we become what we are. And I was actually a science student. I was doing graduation in physics, chemistry and mathematics. And in my college, all the time we used to have strikes. So I used to go to my father's college And used to help artists like Jyoti Bhatt and whoever used to visit. I used to clean their plates in graphic department. And slowly, slowly I started helping other sculpture student also, and I got interested in that. And I just left graduation in between and joined art college in Jaipur, where my father also used to teach. And in 1 year I realized like I cannot grow under my father's shadow. I have to get out of Jaipur. And then I took admission in Baroda. So I never had any orientation that I will become an artist or something.
But you said you moved to Jaipur and you felt that you wanted to move out of your father's shadow. Was that more informed in terms of, by that time, did you realize that this is the field you want to grow in? Or was it still something which was experimental, something which you found interesting?
I think there is a certain inner intelligence, and once you start taking yourself seriously, your intuition also helps you. So somehow I had this feeling that I cannot grow in that environment. I will become the shadow of my father. So I wanted to get out of it, because he himself was he's a very big personality there, a very dominating personality in terms of artists. So I decided to move out for my own reasons, and he always appreciated all my decisions.
No, I also feel that, was this a factor in your life, looking at the art community, especially not now when you got into art, then artists had modest backgrounds, the life which we all are used to now in the art industry, big pastry parties, film stars as clients, all those things are something which were not there then. Art was primarily there because you love art. It was not there because there was money in art or there was fame in art. So was that ever a consideration in your mind that, okay, maybe if I become an engineer, I can get a good job. Maybe if I study hard, I can get a, kind of international posting. Because, say 20 years back or 25 years back, working abroad was a big factor. And I don't know, would you have ever envisaged that the kind of fame, the kind of progress you've got as an artist, you ever thought of that when you were getting into art?
No, I had one very clear idea that I never looked to do my degree or anything to get a job or something. But I was more interested in doing something which I liked. And I realized that science was not something which I liked. And though I was a very good student there, but still I don't know, somehow it was not giving me that kind of satisfaction, direction. And other side I had this conflict that I see all these artists, and it's not true that artists never used to have parties. There were always parties, all the time they were part of.
Yeah, they've gone sober now. They're more in public.
I mean, now parties, the invitation for parties are coming from different sides also.
I know.
So that's another thing, but I think they were taken very seriously earlier. The discourse in newspaper, media was much serious than now.
Absolutely.
Now people are more interested in knowing that how much, who sells for how much, if the market is good, if the thing is bad or something. But I think I remember even in Bombay, when I moved to Bombay, till then there were a lot of really, really serious articles. You could every week you could have in newspapers, which is very rare now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, but seeing that, the critical the critical questioning or critical topics of art not being there, the scenario being more frivolous today, has that changed the love for art for you? I mean, is it the same when you got into being an artist? Is the love the same, or is it changed? Is it grown?
No, it is always changing constantly. Like many times my art confused me myself. So I constantly seeing that what exactly I wanted to do and what I'm doing. And not only in terms of producing art, but also in terms of seeing myself as growing as an artist. So, that's why you could see I'm doing different things altogether. Like I'm doing Sandarbh, which is going on since 10 years, totally different context. There was no art scene, there was no idea of art we have created, and that itself is, I think that's one of the only movement which has started from India and it has its own conceptual, ideas.
Yeah, it's an identity in itself now.
Exactly, and a lot of artists from different countries are following that pattern, that idea. So, now we are re-looking at it. So this is constantly going on because our art is byproduct of the cultural changes, environmental changes, everything is affecting you.
The cultural change which you talk about, has that cultural change really affected your works and the way your works project? More so, let's say, you've shifted from Bombay to Delhi now recently. Has Bombay been a more culturally vibrant city which affects your works more, or a more accepting city than Delhi in comparison?
This comparison is not actually worth doing, but see, both the city has different dynamics altogether. In Bombay, going from one place to another place, it means your day is gone. In Delhi, you can go 5 places in one day.
Yes.
So you can have 3 galleries, you can go to 2 theaters, and then again you come back home and watch your own film. So you can engage yourself with many activities, which was very difficult in Bombay, but I think that is very recent phenomenon. So I will not sort of compare these 2 cities, but these 2 cities has its own beauty and problems simultaneously.
And Delhi is accepted today as the market where things happen, thanks to the art fair and to the summit and so many other museums opening here. Is that something which you agree with, or is it something which you think is just a certain phase where we living in Delhi talk about more now?
See, Bombay, the biggest cost in Bombay is land, property. So it is very obvious that things are happening here much more than Bombay.
So keeping the space in constraint, even in terms of art and even in terms of display, you think Bombay has a disadvantage in comparison to Delhi, and that's the only reason why there's a difference?
I don't know, I always had this idea, people never liked me saying this, but I always said Bombay is bazaar.
I like that.
So
what is Delhi, a Punjabi bazaar?
No, Delhi has a lot of other serious things going on. I'm not saying Delhi is not a bazaar. It's bigger bazaar, but also there are a lot of other things going on simultaneously. In Bombay, people are very stressed because of the time constraint.
And I think the academia here is a little more, has more options to talk about.
What I like about Delhi is everything is spread out. In Bombay, everything is South Bombay. And South Bombay is like 40 kilometers from my place.
Yeah.
So I'm basically the one who has to go there.
Yeah.
And that also creates a kind of very elitist ego. The people from South Bombay, they don't like to come to even Bandra. Because they say, why should we go? But in that case, we suffer because all the galleries are in South Bombay. All the activities are happening in South Bombay.
Is that elitist attitude something which works for the industry? I'm just asking you something which is off the cuff. Has that worked for the industry? Do you think it's important for that elitist attitude to really be there? Because I have seen a lot of people, talk about.
I tell you something. Most of the people say industry, art industry, art industry. I don't know about it. What is art industry? Are you talking about business? Are you talking about galleries? Are you talking about institutions? Are you talking about art in people? what
Adopt it as
industry
a
we are
subject
talking
actually,
about.
because an industry is something where whether it is business, whether it is academics, whether it is even critiques or even artists, we all have to, it's a community, and only then can you trade in that community. At the end of the day, we are all into the galleries, or the agents are here into business of it. But what we sell is something which is so subjective and so creative that it becomes, it's a very thin line, as you might say that.
That's why I'm saying it is very important to understand for yourself that what is industry for you. For me, there are many other things also going simultaneously, which we call like alternative art practices, which we call street art, which we call, any kind. I try to, people cultivate, buyer, I cultivate audiences. I go in rural areas. How can you imagine art industry without including rural in India, which is like 60% of our life is living in rural areas.
Absolutely.
So, what are we talking about? Are we talking about those 5 cities? And basically art is totally urban-centric phenomena. Yeah, I don't know. For me, everybody has a right to access art, and you don't have access to art for them.
Yes, in a way that they don't have access to it, but coming into the limelight, you've been in the limelight, you've been part of the Bombay Boys, you've seen the successes, you've seen the highs, you've seen all the booms which the art industry talks about, or people talk about, or what you said, the frivolous growth of art. You've seen all that, you've been a part of all that. Now, I'm saying that, isn't that important? Isn't that something which we all get influenced by, or a young art student getting into an art industry saying, I want to be like Chintan Upadhyay, I want to be hanging in Shah Rukh Khan's house, I want to be in Salman Khan's house. Isn't that important for an art student?
Then they are learning wrong things.
No, I agree.
I don't even know where my works are going. That's something, not my area, that's my dealer's area, that's my agent's area. But what is more important, that it's not about that their work should also hang in Shah Rukh Khan's house. The most important thing, what they are learning from me. If they are learning this, I'm sorry, I'm a bad inspiration. But if they think like, oh, Chintan has started Sandha and run for 10 years without any support system. If they say like, I will also start in my village. I said, boss, you have learned something.
Great. So, I think that's something which I think all young art students should, So you're saying that in a way, the successes are not even a byproduct. They are something which don't bother you at all.
I think success is given.
If you're sure of your concept, right?
And it's given. It's not, I cannot get it. Somebody will give me. People will give me. If they feel that they think I'm worth of it. So, it is very clear that sometimes people will put you here, and then the same people will put you down. They are the players. They think they can play, but there are other areas where people don't have that power to put you up and down, but they are ready to share with you. They are ready to share many things with you, and they take you seriously, and sometimes they take you, artist, But to reach there, it is very important to connect with them. We all talk about public art, public this, public that. But how much we do really, and how we understand who is public. First of all, we have to understand who is public.
Okay, I want to just rephrase this entire thing in a way and try and ask you that if I'm correct, if I've understood it right. Do you think it will be wise for every artist to look at his responsibilities divided into 2 sections? One, as to what he's giving back to the community, and second, as to what is important for himself, a selfish reason where he can sell that piece. He can, because at the end of the day, it's important for every one of us to survive, right? A gallery will only keep your artworks. I'm being very honest and forthright. If he's able to sell your artworks, right?
Otherwise, they will not keep my artwork, right?
I don't know whether...
you yourself is a gallery.
Yes.
You will not keep any artwork, even if it is worth showing, Will not
No, I
give
might
because
show
you
it.
will not sell.
No,
Exactly.
I will
you
show
will
it.
show because you have commitment with
So that's, see,
sincerity.
Actually, that's the responsibility which I'm talking about. So for me also, being very honest here, a platform like this is more about responsibility than sales. I'm not getting any sales out of it. For me, this is a platform where I can do something which I think is my responsibility. But at the same time, when I run my gallery, I pay my rents, I pay my salaries. It's important to keep something which I can sell. So what I'm trying to say is that shouldn't an artist or a gallery divide in their mind and in their approach their responsibilities?
I think you are basically a product of different time than us. Because when we started, we never imagined that we will sell our work.
True.
And we were actually thinking of if we can get some job. We were ready to work in shops also, but they were never used to give us any job because the artist kya karega? You understand? And we never used to get jobs in schools also. Now there are so many schools around. Earlier, as my generation artist, it was very difficult to get. And that time, I have decided I will depend on art. I will not sort of do any other job.
That's why it's an inspiration.
No, but it was very difficult because you don't have any support system. You don't have any structure where artists can be supported. I mean, government gives some scholarship. That time it was really good, but now the same amount is like useless. I mean, it's ridiculous. Earlier 5,000 used to be like a big amount. Now they are giving 7,000.
Thank God for small mercies.
I mean, but at least there are some small things happening. But what happened in recent time, things have changed on different level altogether. It's not about selling and buying. It was about that. This is the way we have understood art scene. And most of the people are interested in art scene because they saw those figures in the newspapers and media.
Yeah.
So they thought, artists are important. But I don't know, like art is the most important thing in the world because that's the only area, that's the only medium, or that's the only expression which talk about the grey area of cultures.
Absolutely. I mean, there are certain things which nobody else even wants to touch.
Nobody wants to touch, nobody wants to talk about it, and we take the risk. And most of the time we have been thrashed by these places and these things. I mean, it's very easy. Artists are not protected by state. In any case, nobody wants to fight a case for artists.
I mean, do you think as a gallery there is something's lacking that you would like to see from a gallery's perspective? I mean, I'm asking you from an artist's point of view. That as a gallery, okay, not for you. You've achieved certain things. At times, I can say that you put your own terms in front of the galleries. The galleries more often than not have to agree to those terms. I'm saying for a young artist who has no clout, he's come straight out of art college, probably has done 2 group shows somewhere, 3 group shows somewhere. He's got potential, he's selling well, but then the galleries define how the process goes. What should be the responsibility of a gallery there? What should he do?
If they are defining, then they should shut down. I mean, they should become artists. I mean, why they are defining, they should understand that if artist is taking this, that's their responsibility to protect that artist. If they are really serious about that artist.
How would a gallery know when an artist is coming that he should be serious about it or not? I mean, I'm asking you again as a very naive
relationship with the artist, you just don't give them. I mean, I'm really surprised you are saying that they are still in college and doing 3 group shows. I mean, let them come out, let them be with the other artists. I mean,
Chintan, have you been to any of these art college final pass outs? Half of them, I mean, I'm being very honest here. Half of the students there would say, I've been a part of 3 group shows, I sell for about 1 lakh plus of artwork. And you actually, as a gallery or as an agent, or as a person who's interested in art, actually just ask a simple question. Did you just say that to me? Are you just still studying in your 3rd year? Is this all that is interesting to you? I mean, the conversations are so skewed towards money and so skewed towards what's being successful.
But this is not only in art, this vulgarities in everything.
I agree, totally.
This is what New India is all about.
I mean, how?
This is what New India like. They like talking about money. They like talking about success. They like talking about, everything which is glossy.
Could we actually accept all this as vulgarity, which we are used to now?
And vulgarity is the best thing. If you can have vulgarity and if you can accept it.
So should we accept it?
I mean, it is not vulgarity. This is the violence. This is violence. Like your culture is not even interested in your own growth. They are interested in how much you earn, how much they earn, how much they will earn. Culture is, everywhere they just talk about how much you sell for. They are not interested, Chintan, what exactly you do. I don't understand. Tell me, I will take 4 days. I will come every day. Give me half an hour. I will try to learn what exactly you are doing. No. Or they will have another attitude. Chintan, that artist who makes babies. Right? That's all. Why babies? Why is this the same baby? Nobody is interested. So we don't have time. We have to go fast. We have to finish everything fast. And art, the way we used to see art, we don't see it anymore.
I'll ask you a slightly controversial question here. That you've sold to a lot of popular names out of Bombay, and you've sold to the new Novu Rich of Delhi. Dealing with buyers, you must have had contact. Buyers must have had asked you, questions when they're buying your paintings, the reasons they're buying your painting. Have you been? Again, I've been told this by artists, so I'm asking you. More often than not, the buyers don't buy you for what you make the paintings for. They'll buy it because you sell. You're a sellable name. Is that something which has been your experience both in the Bombay?
Wow, that's a news, huh?
It is?
Yeah, that's a news. Most of the time I'm hearing that people say Chintan don't sell these days.
You're being very modest, Chintan. Very, very modest.
Really, I tell you something. Who are these art buyers? They are not collectors. They are art buyers.
Agreed.
A collector has, if we understand, collector buy for a statement of their own understanding.
Absolutely.
They are as important as the artists. Artists and collectors, when they are on the same platform.
Yeah, that's when it works.
Then, then collection happens.
Yeah.
I don't need buyers, my dealer, why do I my dealer's job? I don't want to run behind them to get my money back, It makes no sense. Why will make you run?
I want to ask you one question which has, bothered me a lot. I don't know how to address this to younger artists. Should artists ever meet the buyer? I'm saying a buyer, not a collector. Should they have a direct relationship with the buyer ever? Is it fair practice?
If their galleries are not doing anything, then they will anyway have it.
No, I'm saying when the galleries are there, then?
Then why they have to meet them?
Okay, I'll ask this question in a slightly more different way. Should artists be allowed to sell directly to a buyer? Allowed means, is it a good ethical practice?
What is ethical here and what is non-ethical here? It's very simple. You have to understand you means the artist or buyer or anybody. A lot of people come to me, they say we don't want to pay the gallery commission and all. I said, then to go do something. What can I do in that?
Is that the right policy or is it the right policy?
No.
I need to run my house.
No, but simultaneously, if my gallery is not selling, I will say take it, man. I don't care. Instead of my gallery, I'll give it to you.
I'll ask a more technical question. I think most of us here know that. Would you sell it 33% less or would you sell it at the actual price?
To whom?
To the direct buyer.
If a buyer is buying for 33%, full price, I will sell for full price.
No, would it be ethical to actually take something called the
I'm not an ethical person, I'm an artist. What ethics you are talking about here? You are a gallery, you want to have ethics because it works for you. The galleries have contract with the artist. They want to control the artist. But what do they give back to the artist?
Nothing.
I'm talking about Indian galleries. They ask me to have a contract with them. I say, okay, give me 6 crores in return. Would they give me? No, and if they don't sell, I will just sit inside. I mean, is that ethical?
Not at all.
I mean, for you, you want us to be ethical, but you don't want to be ethical.
I agree. I mean, that's something which.
I mean, this is what.
Should this as a rule, shouldn't this be taught to students apart, or that contracts are something which are not to be done?
Sir, I tell you something. In art college, we are taught not to follow rules.
But some rules should help you.
I mean, what some rules? We make our rules, and when it is not working, we will change it.
Well said. I mean, okay, I'll ask this in not this particular question. I'll move to the next one, which is slightly more related to what colleges give an art student. Are the tools right, what the colleges give you when you enter into the art world?
I mean, first thing what Baroda did, they took away all my tools. And they said, think, see, think, and choose your tools.
And that's the right approach according to you?
I mean, right or wrong, I don't know, but I learned something out of it.
So would you recommend that kind of...
What was right that time is not right today.
No. I'm saying about the principally approach. That, learn your own ways, go into that, start thinking about things rather than looking at rules and this is the right way, this is 33%, this is a contract, this is not a contract, this is a gallery practice, this is a curated concept. I mean, all these things, as you rightly said, these are rules which each one of us as artists or as persons from the art community want to break. Is that the right approach? I mean, is it principally the right approach according to you?
I mean, I tell you, Damien Hirst, he broke all these gallery rules and just went straight away to Sotheby's. All the galleries bought from the Sotheby's. What programs we are talking about, what rules we are talking about, yeah. We are cultural producer. What we produce is the culture. Good or bad, nothing is vulgar.
Absolutely. In terms of point of view, according to your point of view, the current scenario is very volatile as far as the market is concerned, as far as the business of art is concerned. Does that in any way, or should it in any way affect the members of this, the people who are connected to the art industry? Like, should it affect the functioning of an artist or the functioning of a curator? I mean, that the market is so volatile. Should it affect it? Does it affect it?
Which market? Institution market or residency market or money buying?
I'd say exhibitions or galleries, sales.
See, what happens, I think one has to understand what is market. Because buying and selling is like just shops. But there are other things where we have to, we have to look at. Because institutions are different thing, and many artists are institutional artists. They market it differently. And what they get out of it is different. There are artists who are working only for the market. They're
selling artworks.
Selling artworks and going, they are different kind. But there are, the mainstream market also look at what you know about art, how you take art. I mean, artist's job is not to think about market only, but it is all about thinking about art. We all question art first. And that's the most important thing. Like, if we cannot question art itself, then what exactly will be like tomorrow? How we should think about art tomorrow? Not in terms of, okay, I have this social concerns, so I'll make art on grave. I have this social concern, so I'll make art on globalization. That's not artist's job. Artist's job is to look at new language, which your environment, which your time bring in its own way. You have to be very cautious. You have to be very conscious to know what exactly is going to be tomorrow.
So you're defining tomorrow. That's what
We are
you're doing today.
No, no. Why everything is black and white? This is what I said. Art never deals with black and white. We are not defining. We are exploring.
Absolutely, and that's what you like to do every day, right?
And many, of course, we, not only me, but one artist will also, one artist is also byproduct of a culture. So it's not that I'm the only one who is changing. The culture is changing. That's why I'm changing.
But there are very few artists, Chintan, to be very honest, who would think or work as a sponge where, the community is changing, they're changing according to that, they're adapting according to that. Isn't that, I'm sure it's difficult for a young artist to think as broadly and as fluidly as you are.
I was also a young artist. Now, this is the part I've learned after a long time, what we all learn, don't take away their struggle from them. And there are some artists I know, they also want to struggle. Because struggle also becomes a kind of pattern, a trend, that I have to struggle, then only I should become artist.
Yeah, it's the same thing to do.
You should not force anything. It will come automatically to you. But you have to be sincere about and sensitive about things happening around you. I was talking about remixes, and people said like, what the hell is he talking about? But that was the kind of time when you see this Kanta Laga come, and then this woman putting a book like Playboy and behind. And it was a threat for the culture. But now you see it has changed many things.
Yeah. The mainstream actresses do that. Yeah. And it's not considered as a...
Exactly. So first, whoever will do first will become controversial.
Yeah.
Then it will be followed by. This is exactly what happens.
I want to know one more thing about curation and the curatorial practices which are happening in the current scenario. As a gallery, I can say this, that it's a little daunting on me sometimes when certain things, as you said, that you want to show certain artworks. So you do that. But, would you agree that institutional support, museums, government, corporates, they need to come out and actually support certain kind of art which might not be as easily accepted as, say, paintings, which can go on walls, which can match with your sofas, which a lot of buyers someday ask. So, I'm just saying this, I'm being a little sarcastic here, but I'm saying that...
Of course you are being sarcastic, because you say even painting.
Exactly.
All kind of paintings don't sell.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It is very difficult to sell painting also.
Thank you.
So you cannot derogate painting just like this. Okay, they are painting, so they are doing painting means they are traditional artists. No, it's not like this. Painting is also questioning the same things which we are talking. There are different mediums. Of course, these mediums come with the time. But some people are interested in painting. Some people are interested in new media. Some people bring new media into painting. Some people bring painting into new media. It's like we are constantly questioning. This is what exactly I said. That first we have to question art itself. The perception, how we perceive painting, how we perceive the whole thing.
And would the current scenario require more institutional and corporate support?
Always.
What should we do for that?
Give money.
No, we're not institutions. So I'm saying as an institution...
You are talking about corporates, so I'm talking about corporates. That corporate should give money. Then things will happen differently. You can't give, I can't give. We can just sit here and question. That's all.
So can we do as partners in... we're all here to help. See, it benefits each one of us when the industry does well.
It benefits corporate also.
Agreed. So how do we settle that point to the corporates? According to you, what should be the point? What should we tell them?
First of all, you have to understand, we are not here to sell. Corporates are here to sell. If they understand by helping or by taking art, they can sell more, then only they will do.
And that's...
You cannot go to them as helpless person. No. You have to tell them that if you sell this, if you show this, you will sell more. That's the only... this is the language they understand.
You've also had a lot of international exposure, Chintan. Has the experience been different from what the way Indian community treats art?
I mean, whatever I'm talking about art, I'm talking about Indian community, okay?
Yeah.
If I'm talking about international art and art scenario, I will never talk like this.
That's what I wanted to know.
Because our country is the hypocritic country. Our collectors, our buyers, our galleries, everybody is hypocritic. So they say something, they do something. I'm one of them.
I understand.
So, I mean, but we are serious people. We also think that we also think, okay, we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it because it's just getting inside everything. Internationally, and there is also one very important thing, why it happens. Because nobody is actually understanding the word called accountability. In international scene, if you take something, you are accountable for everything. Accountability is the most important thing there, and that's why the scene is very different than international.
Could you just define the accountability part a little more in terms of what would be the accountability for an artist, let's say?
I mean, I can say like I don't sell. I'm not interested in selling. But outside I'm going and selling my works. I mean, you will say, oh, this guy is not selling this. No, it's not true. I know many artists. When I was young, I used to see that there are these artists, and those artists used to sit there, and I used to sit there. And they say, you know, हम लोग तो केवल 8 ही पेंटिंग कर पाते हैं साल में, and उनको बहुत टाइम लगता है, ये करता है, बहुत बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. बट वो 8 पेंटिंग क्यों करते थे? कि प्राइस कंट्रोल में रहे. They will not talk about it. I mean, why I say accountability also, that if I do something, I'm responsible for it. If anything goes wrong, I will take the responsibility. And I will fight for it. But you go to Lalit Kala Academy, no, you things will never be done. You go, I mean, our politicians say something and they never follow it. I mean, accountability is not part of our this thing. So, but if you see internationally, if you say, this is what I will do, and if you don't do, you're out.
So that's accountability for artists, you explain.
Not artists, everybody.
Can you give me a small example for a gallery? What should be the accountability there?
I mean, if you tell me that I am your gallery artist, and if you just take it for granted कि हाँ is my gallery artist, हाँ इसको पैसे की जरूरत होगी तो मांग लेगा, नहीं होगा तो मेरे को देने की जरूरत नहीं. I will sell the works, and you sell the works, you don't give me the money, you keep it with you till the time I don't ask.
What's worse? I mean, I sell the work, and even when you ask, I don't give it.
And you
That's
take
also practice.
and many times it happens that you take the work also, you take the money also, and
Exactly.
This happened with me many times.
I know.
I lost my works also, I lost my money also, and everything.
Should there be, this is a talk which is happening in any industry in our country, as you rightly said, because there's no accountability, nobody takes the responsibility. The judicial system is not ready to take cases like this. What should we do? Should there be benchmarks that people ostracize you if you're wrong in this manner?
I mean, there is no question for that. There is no question. I mean, you see the way our judiciary works, you see the way our education works, you see the way our education system works. I mean, you generally see in the urban area, but if you go in rural areas, there are schools, with no children, no building, no teacher, but schools are running. So where the money is going? I mean, we work in villages, so we know exactly what happens. But you know, people who are here living in South Bombay, they are more interested in earning their money. So what else?
As I want to talk about what you've been doing, you do a lot of performance art, you do a lot of work in the rural area. I mean, could you talk to the audience, especially the younger artists here, younger to you, as to what should be what have you done? What are your learnings from all this?
I mean, every work of art actually teaches you something, even if it is a shit work of art. I mean, many times It happens that we do something for a purpose and it never works. So I've learned that art is more like an organic process. You have it, you make it, then you don't know where it will go. You have no control. You don't know who will take it in which direction. You don't know how people will interpret it. You cannot control that. You cannot even say, I understand that. No, I don't understand my own artwork. Because when I see my 8 years back artwork, I see it totally differently now.
Is that because your eye is trained, or is it because your emotions have changed?
No, because your interpretation changed. Because you learn something from the environment and then you try to interpret that through a work of art. Or maybe which was there, which you could not understand that time, and you also understand in today's time.
Can there be a process to teach this, or is it something which should not be taught?
No, there can only be a process to learn. There cannot be a process to teach.
But you learn from
You can
experiences.
discuss with other people, you can just get other perceptions, you can get other interpretations, and mostly we learn from this interpretation and try to see. I mean, there is nothing right in art. I mean, you can just say at this moment this is right.
In that, okay, now I'll take this to a slightly different way, very commercial way. When you say that there is no interpretation to art, that also leaves a lot of vagueness in the pricing. How does one, what is the right defining steps for pricing?
I mean, if you are pricing for the value of art, then it's another thing. But most of the time it's been marketed, it's been projected, it's been, you have been told.
Yeah. By who?
By opinion makers.
And those
art scene.
Would that be defining, for a young artist, would that be because of the galleries? Would that be
which gallery will say, buy other artists from other galleries? So you are asking to the wrong institution. And we are in such a kind of a country where most of our institutions are run by either collectors or the galleries.
Yeah.
So what you can say? Your public institutions are not being taken care.
So the pricing should be based on what? What should be the benchmarks?
Based on market.
But that's okay. Let's leave the pricing apart.
You galleries put the prices.
The galleries
So
put
you
the prices
should know
are
much better. It's like.
No, but I want to ask you that. Are you honestly saying that the galleries define the prices?
Most of the time, yes.
Even for a young artist?
It's very simple. How do you buy a work of art? How do you buy one artist? Forget about me. But the artist you don't know. You say, if artist is showing in such and such gallery, must be a good artist. Showing in such and such curated show, must be a good artist. You try to sort of make it, and then the gallery will put that, we call it horse trading. This is a stable and you have to feed horse to become big and big, and so you can put it more money.
That's actually why I'm asking this. There are no benchmarks except, as you rightly put it, crudely put it, that it's horse trading. I don't think, I have far too much respect for art in itself to...
No, I'm talking about market. I'm not talking about art.
So, at the end of the day, we're bringing it to the market, right? A lot of it we're selling.
Then you are doing that, not me.
I absolutely understand.
Exactly.
No, it's my job to sell it. But when I sell it, and I have no benchmarks to go by, because there are times when, even as a gallery, you're not able to explain certain things or understand certain reasons why prices have gone up for certain artworks, and you're not able to sell it also.
I don't know. Somehow I feel like हम लोग भगवान पे ज़्यादा भरोसा करते हैं.
कौन? Artists?
Indians. So in our system, we don't have a kind of a system where we can say, okay, this artist should be this artist should be this price, this artist should be this price. जब भगवान भरोसे ले लो, कल देखेंगे. भगवान अच्छा ही करता है, जो भी करता है अच्छा करता है. And that's why you see, even after boom and collapse of boom, there is not a single platform where you can define that what should be sold for what.
My question is that
It's not going to be developed by me. It's going to be developed by you as galleries, because this is your system. You have to make a system in such a way. Tomorrow our auction will come and they decide, okay, we have to make these artists big. They will start pumping money into some artists, and then those artists will become big. Then the whole market shift from galleries to auction houses. Then auction becomes the benchmark. I mean, you don't know what is your benchmark. It is the sad thing. Sometimes you say auction में इतने में बिका इसलिए इसका प्राइस इतना है. Sometimes you say नहीं इसका है ना इतना प्राइस, इसका मार्केट गिर गया इसका इसलिए इसका इतना प्राइस. Because auction में वो गिर गया, तो आपने प्राइस कम कर दिया, उस auction में बढ़ गया, तो आपको पता ही नहीं है कि है ना मार्केट का. If you want to put a price, then on what basis you want to put? People don't even understand auctions are basically secondary market.
yeah.
In secondary market, if somebody has bought a work for 45,000, current price of that work, that size work is 4 lakhs, and in the auction, that work which somebody bought in 45,000 sold for 1 lakh.
You still made double profit.
More than double.
Yeah.
But people will say, "Arey, iska price गिर गया, गिराओ." I mean, you don't even know what exactly happening around. We all are just imagining things. Most of the time you go and see like market गिर गया, market गिर गया. They are more concerned about market than the art itself.
Let's get to the art.
Yes.
So your institutional efforts have been tremendous. You've worked with a lot of projects which are installations, a lot of projects which are larger than life, as one might call it. A lot of artists don't get the opportunity to showcase such large works.
I also don't get opportunity.
Yeah. If I don't get it, I don't know who does.
No, I don't get opportunity, I make opportunity.
Okay. So your opportunities which you've made for yourself in terms of showcasing large works, showcasing works which are, as I said, larger than life. Can you talk a little bit about those? I mean, what have you enjoyed most, and what should be the, what have been the benchmarks in your life, in your career for those?
I mean, for me, larger than life is any kind of work which can stimulate your intellect in such a way that it moves you. It could be this size work, it could be major work.
Absolutely.
I don't see those works which are like humongous in size, because their size itself becomes the reason. Yeah. And content-wise, I find them stupid. I mean, they are not larger than life. They are like pile of any kind of rubbish around.
So what are those small iconic works which have moved you?
There are many of mine.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even talk about it. I'll have another case on me.
I'm not going to get personal about your cases right now. But,
no.
but okay, I want to ask you something on that part. Is it easy as a life? I mean, is it easy to live a life of an artist as of today?
In India, no.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Do you enjoy it, even if it's not easy?
We are struggling, we are fighting, we are challenging.
But are you enjoying the process? Or is it something which is genuinely a struggle which you don't enjoy the process itself also?
No, I always enjoy the process. That's why I'm an artist. But the external things which affect and take away all the enjoyment, that's the worst part.
And it affects your works as they have today, do you think?
Of course, everything affects. Everything affects. I mean, it will be a lie if I say no, it doesn't affect. It affects.
And has the community, I mean, your friends from the art fraternity, certain curators, gallerists, have the support? I mean, has the support been good for you throughout your journey? I mean, I'm saying personal, in terms of your art, in terms of your experiments, everything.
See, one artist cannot grow in isolation. So everybody's sort of contribution is there, physically or intellectually. Sometimes you don't know the person, but you are inspired by their work. So their contribution towards you is very important. So of course, I mean, I didn't meet many curators or other people, but their work I've read, other things I've seen, very inspiring.
Can you name a few?
I mean, I don't remember names, but there are many.
And of your,
I mean, it's also not right to say, but I mean, I never met Griselda Paula, but her writing always affected me. This is the way, I mean, artworks become the introduction to the person. And when you meet an artist like me in this kind of gathering, it is just an extension of what they have seen.
yeah, they always come with a presupposed image of you. Because they've seen your works.
And this image can be a kind of a projected image.
Do you ever think about what image you have to project through your works? Or does
From my works?
From your works?
Always.
Always? You project an image because of it?
Always. I mean, it will be lie if I say no. We all do.
So you actually feel that using your works, you're actually projecting a certain image about yourself.
I mean, it comes automatically, and
And you think about it.
You see Subodh Gupta, you will immediately know what she is. You see, you see Hussain, you can immediately see the energy of Hussain. The work itself extends the personality. It creates, because that comes with the sadhana automatically. It's not that why I say we all know, because we all have a very clear idea that what we want to do. It's not projected in that way like advertising, but it's projected in the sense that this is what I want to do. This is what I am. You like it or you don't like it.
And that's your study actually. I mean, you consciously make an effort that all your works project a certain image about yourself. And
it projects. That's why I'm saying it's not like advertising that
Absolutely.
you have to project and say. It projects.
Not for sale at all. I'm saying
it is an idea which projects.
Intellectually speaking, do you like ideating with younger students of art?
Most of the time I'm working with younger students. In Sandhya we have, every year we have at least 10 to 15 young artists. We have at least 10 volunteers coming from school, colleges.
Okay.
So they all sit with us. We never keep them as young artists or this thing. We don't have these terms. We have these, colleagues. Some are learning and some are doing. So we help each other in those ways.
And in terms of the fairs and the international fairs, you've seen both. Where are we there in that sense? I mean, again, comparing it primarily not international versus India, but are we moving in the right direction there? In any way. I mean, what are the ways which you see that we're moving in the right direction? What are the ways you think that things need to change a little bit better?
I mean, it's always a chance that there is always a chance to be more better. It doesn't mean that they are worst.
Okay. Now, last part of two questions. I wanted to ask you about something which are, a little more fun. I want you to not think about it, but, kind of answer back quickly in terms of, without thinking much about it.
I'm giving all answers without thinking.
No, I mean, I meant it more like, more funly. Let me ask you those questions. Your take on a Bollywood buyer. What impresses you there more?
They themselves.
Bigger than your works?
I mean, they are there bigger than my works. Anyway, why to lie? It will change.
It will change. And inspirationally speaking, a woman inspires you more or a good piece of art?
Depends. It always depends.
Inspirationally speaking, money inspires you more or the sale of your work?
I mean, money is important, even if it comes without sale. If you have more, give me.
That's actually a statement which everybody should make.
I mean, everybody say money is not good. I mean, if it's not good, give it to me and I'll be happy.
I'd like to ask anybody who would like to ask a question to Chintan here.
Why not?
Anybody else?
I mean, I was more scared that you will say why art.
Yeah, that would have been a question. I think it. Just one second.
Time, according to you, that we take art outside the galleries, because art as a subject, as a entity, is something we relish. So when we talk about institutions like Harballa institution, which was in Bombay, and that's where Hussain and Ravi Shankar, and there was a conversation between the arts. Like when you say dance and painting, they were interacting. And today we don't see any interaction. It's actually forced upon. You call it fusion, but that term doesn't make any sense anymore.
We are not interested in that. We are collaborating with scientists. We are collaborating with craftsmen from villages. We are collaborating with other things. There are artists who are collaborating with performers. There are artists who are collaborating with musicians. I mean, the form of art has totally changed. Earlier it was different kind. Synthesis of these two things were the idea of that time. We have learned from it. We are growing more beyond it. We are not only talking about synthesis. We are talking about collaboration. We are talking about interaction. We are talking about voices. I mean, everything is changing. One artist is not only doing painting now, or sculpture, or maybe conceptual art. They are doing many different things. And if you see the nature of art, I mean, I have done one work which is where I don't know myself that what is my position in that it's being distorted. And if you are very far, you think like this. I mean, you can miss this building because this building reflects environment all the time. So from far you don't see building. When you go close, when you see your own distorted image, then you realize that, oh, this is something else. This was another performance in USA. This is one of my work where I started developing a strategy. What happens when we go out of the country, like especially like Japan, Korea, Europe, people don't let you enter into their spaces. Like in Bombay, in India, we are very open. Okay, come. They don't let you enter. So I had to find a way to connect with people. And I decided to make this installation, which was developed from their own game called Kai Avase. And this game has these sheeps painted from inside. One side of the sheep is in the box, and other side is just put down. You have to match. And if you match, there is a message through painted imageries. And most of the time, these painted imageries are from nature. So I started collecting plants from people because most of the time they are painted plants. So I went to many houses, asked people to donate me plants. And this is the way I used to meet them. Though we could not communicate, so I had a translator, a person who used to translate for me. And ultimately I used the same pattern which they use for their game. And then slowly they used to come and put water, they used to take care of them. It was there for 2 years and then just disappeared. People took away, or maybe I don't know what happened. And this was basically part of a project I did in Bombay. We have a river called Mithi in Bombay, and this river is basically totally full of toxic. So what you see black on the body of these sculptures are basically these sculptures are dipped in the river.
You put white sculptures?
White sculptures. Instead of painting, I put them into the river.
What came out of it?
Yes.
And how long were they kept into the water then?
They were there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
You put your hand and put it on back.
Oh, God.
And this river is inside the city. So when you enter into Bombay, you have this smell. The smell is basically all these water bodies around Bombay, which are totally polluted because they don't have any filtration system.
But are they lakes or are they cities?
Huh?
Are they lakes or are they cities? I mean, do they have a natural outlet?
It starts from the lake and it goes to the sea through this river.
So they go into the...
Now that you cannot imagine if it is a river or a nala. So, I mean, so the whole, I did the whole project with the photographs and all. I thought I will show photographs and I realized that it is becoming more like a journalistic sort of a project. Then I decided what I should do and I did these paintings and dipped them in the river. So whatever you see, I mean, I did also, I also collaborated with almost like 150 kids from the area and worked with them, made small paintings and made a picnic as one of the work. The picnic becomes the work and I asked them to give reflection of whatever they have seen in the daytime. I made murals out of it. You can see this. You can see the river at that. This was a project I did called Tetwa Dabado. It was a project which was very close to me called on female infanticides. And I found these real footage in Udaipur of three newly born babies, all females, thrown in the water, tied with stone.
And thrown into the river.
Yeah. So that I've developed the whole show in Jaipur, and this was shown in Jaipur. The same babies, but totally deteriorated. The babies, female babies, not so not so glossy. So this is what most of the time, and we understand as gender in India, and you can see like that the ratio of men and women in last 10 years has gone totally upside. This was a project I did in Belper, UK. I was thinking of making a car garden. So I found this BMW lying there. I got it, and I asked somebody to give me a site to put it for some time. Started putting it. I mean, every day I used to do something, and I think fourth day we all went and banged the car. And I think after that, fifth day we just blasted the car, just burnt it. And we were supposed to make garden out of it inside this car. And suddenly neighbors start having problem with this. And they didn't have problem with the burning, they had problem with the bashing the car. So they said, you are sort of promoting vandalism and all. So we had to remove the car. But in memory of this car, I made another car garden in Germany. This one. So it was a very posh parking area just next to the garden, and garden is also very posh. So I was invited for this garden project there. And I got this really dumped car. And everybody was complaining why it is here. And slowly they started liking it because it has vegetations in it and all, and they were also talking to me. And then after, I think this is after six months. So I made 2-3 car gardens in different places. This was in my village. I was painting this hill by, manually, and then this farmer came and said, "Hey, why you are doing it manually? I'll give you something." And then he got this dawa dalne ka, spray. So and then a lot of people came to help me. This was I call these projects a small change can make a difference. So this tree was like in a totally, it was a dry tree in a total, barren, sort of this kind of environment. We just went and painted it blue. And suddenly everybody is conscious about this. And after 2 months, they just went and cut it because they used to get scared there's a ghost or something on the tree. So, I mean, it was very interesting. Most of the time we used to face this. Somebody will cut our metal sculpture and sell it in scrap. And sometimes artists want people to steal it, and they will not steal it. And sometimes these kind of things happen. So there are a lot of stories what happens around these kind of workshops. The most interesting thing is like it is very important because it is total attack on artist's ego. Because artists, when they say that public should have public art or public spaces should have art, it is their ego. That they say that public art should be there. But are they ready if public react to those art? Because if they don't want it, what they will do? It will become just a burden on their mind all the day.
It has to engage them in something.
It has to engage them, and they didn't want it, they cut it. You cannot do anything. So it means like people should also react. People can also react, and when you enter into when you intervene in their space, they are going to react. If I go to your house and start doing something, you are going to
have a reaction.
Have a reaction. So this is exactly like this. This was a series of 10 baby hats, which are like this size, and decided for a show in New Zealand and Israel. So these are like different kind of projects I do involving people, kids. Then I do site-specific painting exhibitions. I do videos. I do other things. Mixed bag basically. This was in Mexico, in a church. This was in Japan. I wanted to see their houses in Tokyo, and for 1 month nobody was taking me anywhere. Not house. You can go anywhere with them, but not house. Somehow I made this proposal for them that I'll come and cook. It's a project for me. I'll cook and have dinner with you. I'll cook dinner for them, and then I made some Indian curries and all. And then they started.
They will come into the house.
Then they were like.
Food is the one.
Yeah, then they were serving me sake of all kind. Which one?
Satbees.
It was in Sotheby's,
New York.
New York. So was in El Salvador. I collected these clothes from people and then stitched them, made them like bags, and placed them in on the beach. And every day they were just appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing.
Were they tied inside? I mean,
No.
They were just.
Sand. And then sea automatically used to bring in. This was in US. Now in this painting you can see the interior of body is changing constantly. So the symbolism is changing, it is talking more contemporary because they are learning from the recent environment. So this whole painting has a protest series inside. This was very interesting. It is, I think, from one of the shopping malls, they used to have these bags. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I asked all the artists to wear it and get photographed. This is called Queen's, what do you call, crown, Queen's crown. Basically the idea was to conquer. I made a whole show called Conquer. And these are those small soldiers, army soldiers, and I just put them together and made this thing. And used light, so their shadow becomes like a huge. These are very large works. They are like each of them are like 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. So they are like 4 sides of the same sculptures. This is the second sculpture. This is the third sculpture. And this is my recent work. I made these biscuit houses and placed these biscuit houses in a place in Jaipur. So these monkeys come and they start eating it up, and after monkeys, cows come, they destroy it totally and eat it up. And basically being an artist, you just become a spectator of the whole process. And it's almost like you make the house and you have thrown out, on the periphery. And the moment you go close, they show their teeth.
Get out.
And all these works come from a lot of personal experiences. I mean, I understand symbolism on my own way, but I always prefer that people have their own interpretation, their way. So this was a tea stall I made. I was selling chai in the village for a day, and then I had a fight with the local tea maker.
You're selling more than me.
So I just appointed him there, and then it was more like a kind of a space which has a lot of other artists' works in it, and more becomes the tea stall itself becomes a gallery for people, and they interact with interact to have tea, and also while having tea they are looking at all the artworks and all. So it was an idea to make this tea stall as a kind of a gallery in itself, or a museum of a kind which changes according to spaces. Besides this, we also used to have museums which are run by people, and They used to give us things, we used to number it, name it, and whenever they wanted to use it, they used to take it back, use it, bring it back. It was like a living museum where people come, they put things, and it was more like a direct interaction with their own things. And they see things, their own things in different perspective.
Thanks, Chintan. Thank you so very much.
Your art gets destroyed by people, by the surrounding, as to when an art lives on like a painting. How do you differentiate?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
If you made two artworks and one of them is destroyed by people, by surroundings around them, like you explained, that the trees are cut off, and all the paintings that you've made, art lives on like that. How do you differentiate between
Does your reaction change?
I mean, many times I put painting into landscape and it goes away. So it depends. I mean, I made paintings on such kind of clothes. After I took photograph and after 3 weeks it's just gone. So it's not about if they go or not. But yeah, these kind of, sometimes this painting is the wrong person, but also is wrong. And most of the time you guys say, people who buy painting don't understand painting, but they buy it.
Yeah,
So it's basically destroying it. But in between what happened, I mean, this is a fact also. Many times, generally artists should not talk about this, but many times people used to collect a lot, buy a lot, and then put it in the store. Nobody see those paintings. One day, it just disappeared. I like this question because this is something very interesting and very important to me, this question. So most of the time I ask this question to myself, that we artists produce so much artworks. I mean today basically the whole world is overpopulated by artworks. You know. So I always think, what happens after 60 years? Those artists who are stars, and after 60 years they are just disappear. They just go anywhere. What happened to their art production? I mean, we don't even talk about those art production. Where it goes? So it means it goes and destroyed.
Self-destroyed.
So that's where I always think, like, even if these works destroyed, fine. If my painting destroyed, fine. I mean, it happened many times. This whole bunch of 60 paintings just disappeared, destroyed. People took it and never paid. Destroyed. I mean, that sucks, but I also give you one example of this, why I say, and that also I learned with incidents, with the process. There was one American young girl, she must be 21 or 22. She came to our residency. She made a huge, she collaborated with the bamboo craftsmen. She made a huge nest. But this nest is a kind of designed in such a way that you can also, it becomes a swing also. And she worked with these kids, children, school children. And she hanged it, and I was telling Anuj yesterday, she hanged it on the tree at around 7 at night. And she told me, we have hanged it, tomorrow morning we should go and see it. We went in the morning, it was not there. And she started crying. I said, why are you crying? She said, my work gone, my work gone. I said, don't worry, it's okay. Said, no. She started calling her boyfriend in America, and she was like, my work is gone. And we were looking for the work, and we realized the work is in the lake, inside the lake, somebody thrown it. And when we got it back, we realized why. Because people who thrown it, basically they cut the rope The rope costed for 400 to 500 rupees. So for the 400 and 500 rupees, they are said, bloody this artwork is useless, I need this rope. So I mean it depends. And then somebody else would commission the same work in Delhi to do the same work. So, I mean,
Any more questions? Anybody has more questions?
People also asked me, I just think what kind of answer you going to give to that. See, you have very diverse practice, right? But till now, what was there close to your heart that you feel like this is ultimate your creative effort, and whenever you see the work, you feel like, wow, it's something you never.
First of all, I don't see this way. But what I like the most, I haven't shown here. I like the most doing doodling and drawing. I'm not on a paper, but I do it on anything. That's something which I enjoy. But that is very instinctive. That's not intellectual, this thing. It is almost like leaving my traces everywhere. Some dogs have this habit of leaving their traces. So I generally like that. And at certain time I like painting. I mean, since 2 years, I didn't paint because I was doing a lot of site-specific projects. And now I feel this urge to do painting, so I started doing painting. So I think this question is not right for any artist. I mean, what happens when you ask wrong question, you definitely will get wrong answer. So I mean, why to ask wrong question?
I realize that a lot today.
Huh?
I realize that a lot today.
I mean, I don't know. But
I know, all in fun.
So I mean, people have this habit of asking this kind of questions, but of course, you will not do anything which you won't like, which you won't enjoy. If you won't enjoy, first of all, you will stop it immediately. You put a lot of emotions for that. I mean, even if you go for a camp, I've seen people are very passionate. They do a lot of. Like remember, we were together in that Baroda camp. Everybody was like intense. They're like, I'm constant in discussion that what is going on, what is happening, why you are doing this, why. We all know the technique, but something, makes it more intense.
More fun.
More intense, more dynamic, and I think artists enjoy everything. It's not, there's nothing I enjoy this more than this.
Anybody else for a question? Thank you.
Thank you. These are playing cards. If you guys are interested.
Anybody who is interested can take one.
And